So lots of progress recently. We've been working, the chiropractor and I, on moving my atlas, which seems like it shouldn't be possible because it's fused to the skull, but apparently it's only partially fused. And it's been kinked. It's been like locked in place off to the right, which I didn't fully understand. It must have, when I got sick, my neck was swelled up. I was kinked on the airplane for a long time. When I got back home, I think I spent like a month in bed or something. Somewhere in there, that atlas, that top bone that's fused to my skull, got locked to the right hand side. And it was pressing into my brain stem, which is definitely messing it up. And then the fact that I had the sickness at the same time, mixed with all the other deformities on my neck. No one was sure if my neck was like that, if the atlas was able to move. There were so many unanswerable things. And then it's hard to find medical people to look at your images, and it was hard to find someone to really look at my images. So we basically did it by experimentation, and over a fairly long period, probably over the last month, we've been trying to get it to move more. And she's essentially had to press on it and try to get the muscles to loosen it up and just shove it over with force. But it started to loosen up enough now that I can actually pull it over myself, or lean on it with this hand and press it over a little bit, so I can get movement out of it myself, which is really cool. And I can tell when it's out of place by leaning my neck back. I can tell exactly how it's lined up, which I didn't fully realize before. I only realized recently that when I lean my head back, oh, it kinks and tips a little bit. And I thought it must have always done that because this isn't changing. This is a fused birth deformity. So I just never realized it because I've always had it. But that's not fully true. It feels different because that does move to some extent, even though it doesn't seem like it. So the mental clarity is a lot better. Now, the rest of my body has gone through a lot of issues over the last year, because when you start pressing even a millimeter or two on the brainstem, you end up with all sorts of organ issues, all sorts of heart issues, all sorts of thinking issues, all the issues I've been having. And mine's higher up because it's right against the skull. So it's even higher up on the medulla oblongata. So it messes up all sorts of stuff. So it'll take a little bit for me to recover. And the birth deformities in my neck and the rest of my spine are going to cause some issues. Like, I mean, they're probably going to cause some issues. It's not fully guaranteed, but they're probably going to cause some more significant issues down the line. But for now, I think I'm on a good path. Now, I've done this a little bit before where I think I'm getting something that's working and then it doesn't. And but I think that's because this must have been adjusting. Maybe it was sliding a little bit in, a little bit out of place based on other stuff I was doing, and I just couldn't figure out why I was getting a little bit better, then worse, and over time it was wearing on my body, and my general health just kept going down. I'm sure my liver, my heart for sure has had a rough 17 months here. So it's kind of like waking up from a fog, literally having a mental fog. But I'm feeling a lot better with this. It keeps sliding out of place. I spent like 2 days pushing it back into place, probably every 15 to 30 minutes that I was awake. Like all the time. It seemed like just constantly I was pushing it back into place. But now it's staying there a little better. So that's also a really good sign. And then hopefully this will allow me to focus on some other stuff, get some other aspects of my life going in some sort of good, interesting direction, and possibly open up some possibilities, opportunities for the future. Because as the direction my health was going, those possibilities were just diminishing more and more. So hopefully those will do the opposite now. There will be increasing. So hopefully this one does not have a downturn, at least not a major downturn, and it keeps making progress as we get more movement in that bone. So that is my update for now. Oh, one last thing. I updated jeffreyalexandermartin.com so that it has some stuff up there. There's a resume link. There's my TESOL portfolio for teaching. I have my medical images, information on Klippel-Feil syndrome, I might have a few other things, and then I put up my first post for a blog because I'm going to work on writing. I've started working on writing, so I'm going to blog about it too because why not? That's writing, and I can write about writing, which would be cool. So JeffreyAlexanderMartin.com. I I plan on keeping that updated regularly, and the first post I think is really good, super interesting. So check it out if you see this.